Hey guys, it's Eric with Verus Engineering, and today we're going to be installing our UCW wing on our 2020 Toyota Supra. This will work with all Mark V Toyota Supras, to our knowledge. It may not work with some spoilers that come with some of the cars, but our mounts are pretty far outwards. Overall, the install is not too difficult. I would say plan for about 2 to 3 hours. You will be drilling into your trunk, so be prepared for that. But overall, it went very smoothly for us internally and has gone pretty smoothly for the few guys who've tested it out so far. All right, so as far as the tools we need, I'll go through that, and then I'll also go through what's all included in a kit, and then we will get to the install. All right, as far as tools required, we have a hammer, we have a 10mm wrench, 1/8 inch and a 1/4 inch drill. You might need a few more drill bits, but that's what we have out. 4, 3, and 2.5mm Allen wrenches, drill, scissors, isopropyl alcohol water mix, painter's tape, and a microfiber towel. Overall, the install is not too bad and doesn't require anything super special. All right, so we'll go through what all is included in the kit real quick. So you get the wing blade right there, which is automatically includes the wing mounts. We have the uprights, and there are lefts and rights, and there is an outside and an inside. There's a large radius here, or actually a chamfer, where the inside has a smaller chamfer. We have the wing mounts, or the trunk mounts right there. The carbon end plates, you get 2 of those. Right on the bottom side, we have the trunk support plate. It's a nice big piece of aluminum that supports the whole trunk from inside. And then finally, we have some Delrin trunk stops, which basically replace the rubber guys from the factory. All right, so at this point in the install, we have cut out the template and installed it onto the trunk. I have it held on by some gaffer's tape, but you can use painter's tape if you don't have your car ceramic coated. Before you drill the holes, I recommend making sure that basically you can kind of line up the holes and put it on and make sure that everything kind of makes sense. And currently everything does make sense, so we're gonna center punch some holes, but it's just a good idea to make sure that everything makes sense before you drill holes in your car. All right, so I have center punched the holes, and now we're gonna drill. I'm starting with an 1/8 inch drill bit. We'll probably work our way up larger. I don't know exactly how large yet, but start with 1/8 inch. Brace yourself, and wow, plastic. That is too easy. Not cool. All right, we're opening up the holes to a little bit over a 1/4 inch right now for M6 hardware. All right guys, so we've basically drilled the holes on the car. Now it's basically time to assemble the trunk mounts, double-sided tape. We got some studs to install, and then put them on the trunk. Now, part of what you should do at this point is probably install at least 2 of the studs. We have these 2 installed, and basically install it on the trunk and make sure that all your holes are large enough and that they line up with the holes on the trunk mount. Sometimes if the holes aren't drilled straight, or if they walked while you were drilling them, the holes might not line up. And that's, at this point, is a good time to fix that. At this point, I've already checked that. So basically I've installed this with no double-sided tape in the trunk. And of course, there we go. So, and then I can obviously easily look and say, oh yeah, all the holes line up. We should be good for the next step, which is to install the double-sided tape. So to install the double-sided tape, I've already washed off this surface with isopropyl alcohol and a water mixture per 3M's recommendation. And then we will basically install this like so, using the holes to guide us. All right, so now that is installed onto the mount. This is basically just a weather barrier to keep some of the water out. Granted, it doesn't matter because it's outside the trunk seal, but we wanted to at least try and keep water away from getting into the trunk as much as possible. So next part, we're basically going to remove the red part from the trunk mount, and then we're going to install this onto the trunk itself. You'll also want to wipe the top surface of the trunk with isopropyl alcohol for the best adhesion of the 3M. I know that the 3M is not actually what's adhering the trunk mount to the car, but if you want the best possible adhesion, it's not a bad idea to do so. All right, so now that we have the trunk mount installed into the trunk, we can install the strengthening bracket underbody piece. So because of how the studs go through the trunk, you can't install all 5 studs at the same time with this part. You basically can do it with these 2 or a combination of a few others, but I'll just start it with these 2, and then you can install the remaining studs. If you were smart, unlike me, you'd probably put a nut on that, and then you don't have to hold it up there, but you're probably smarter than me. I'll just fight it. I'm using a 3mm Allen wrench to install these. Obviously, if it starts to feel like it's cross-threading, don't go harder. Stop. Fix it. I don't know what else to tell you. But it's just going into aluminum. Once it bottoms out, it gets tight. You don't need to go crazy with it. All right, so all the studs are installed. I'm gonna give them like a quick little, I don't know, quarter turn. Nothing crazy. Just making sure that they're all fairly bottomed out and even-ish. And then we'll grab our M6 washers and nylocks and finish up the install of the trunk mounts. All right, so we've installed all the nylock nuts onto the part. We're gonna use a 10mm socket on a 1/4" drive. Tightening torque is around, I don't know, 6 to 8 foot-pounds max. Nylocks will obviously resist backing off, so really you just need them to be snug, and at that point everything is good. All right, and then the last part of the install is to actually install our Delrin trunk stops. Normally here they are soft cushy rubber, and we basically have Delrin parts that thread into the factory location. They can twist and turn. I have mine set so that they are basically perfect for the trunk shutting. And basically to do that, you want the trunk to basically rest on that as it's fully shut. And you just have to do that with a bit of trial and error. You don't want the trunk sitting up, because obviously that doesn't look good with body lines, but you also don't want it to be able to move down at higher speeds. So you want to make sure that this is very close to or touching that location. There we go. No, there we go. When the trunk is shut, and you kind of just need to do that with some trial and error. All right, so now we're going to install the uprights onto the trunk mounts. We don't really recommend, but it was designed with the intention that this side goes towards the outside. It can go the other way, but we did this for aesthetics, and we thought it was really cool. It's basically got a large chamfer that's variable chamfer throughout this entire part. Same thing on this outside. That goes on the outside. The inside has a simple chamfer. You take your M16 or M6 by 16mm long button head cap screw, a small washer, and easily just install it into the trunk mount. All right guys, so we've got the uprights installed on the trunk mounts. We'll now install the rear wing blade. Something that I've found to do while you're doing it by yourself is that the wing will actually rest nicely on the uprights. Just go gently onto them, like so, and then the wing will stay there pretty well. I put on the 25mm long button head cap screws with a washer, and I put those from the outside in, primarily for aesthetics. I normally do the front one first. And then we can do the rear ones. Again, button head cap screw with washer. I'm currently going to 7 degrees, but we will throw up a little picture to help you estimate the angle of attack. Each car is a little different, so it's not a bad idea to measure it yourself. On this side, we are doing a nylock with washer, and then we will tighten this to about 6 foot-pounds. The only thing left on the install will be installing the end plates, which is very easy with some M4 hardware. All right, now to install the end plates, basically there is a machined aluminum washer, is what we call it. It has an O-ring groove on the back side. We include O-rings, so you basically will put the O-ring on the back side, washer goes on, and then flathead cap screw. That is a 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench. The top should be parallel with the ground, so you can use a bubble level on that, and then just tighten those down to snug, and you're good to go. All right, guys, that concludes the install. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and the install overall. Please feel free to like and subscribe us on YouTube and all the other social media outlets. If you have any questions, leave a comment, send us an email, sales@verus-engineering.com. We are always happy to answer questions and that type of stuff. We have multiple Ventus kits for this vehicle at this point. We have all that information online, so be sure to go look that up and check it out. Let us know if you have any questions. Till next time.